In case you may have forgotten, it's actually Seahawks week. I can speak for myself. I've been so hyped up off this Eagles win that's really the only thing that I've been thinking about all week. Obviously, we know the Seattle Seahawks are coming up this Sunday at home. So the 49ers still have a big test in front of them, and they have an opportunity to sweep the Seahawks and probably with that will lock up the NFC West. So that's a big, big step in order to continue to go after the number one seed, which the San Francisco 49ers definitely want to have. So obviously, Seahawks week, yes. But this clip right here is freaking hilarious. Kay Adams had Will Ferrell on her show, Up and Adams, and obviously you know who Will Ferrell is. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. He's in like if I did a top 5 movies, he's probably in 4 of them. But this advice that Will Ferrell gives is absolutely hilarious on how and what the Seahawks should do getting ready and how they're going to prepare for what they're going to do against the San Francisco 49ers. Listen to Will Ferrell on the Up and Adams show. Absolutely hilarious.
Usually do in recent memory, and now we're on the bubble as the Seahawks. Big matchup against the Niners. What do you make? How do you, if you were to go in the locker room and get to talk to this Seattle Seahawks team, which you could do at any moment you'd like to, and Pete Carroll says, "Will, would you like to say a few words?" What are you saying to these Seahawks?
I'd say, guys, we're going to punt on third down every series, and we're just gonna we're not going to control the ball. Let's not worry about it. I don't know what you do about the 49ers. Right? What do you do? I mean,
they're loaded.
They're loaded offensively, defensively. You just have to, I don't know. The Seahawks are always going to have to, play with defense, running the ball, and, playing they're not a flashy team. So I think it's just, we're going to have to get a number of turnovers and hold down their offense and hang on for dear life. That's my rah-rah tweet. Hang on for dear life.
I agree with Will. Punting on third down is going to be a great, great strategy for the Seattle Seahawks just to get out of there healthy. But in all seriousness, we already know the 49ers are loaded. We saw what they did to the Seattle Seahawks on Thanksgiving. And so obviously as a fan base, as a team, as an organization, there's a lot of confidence heading into this game because we saw what the 49ers did to Seattle in the Seahawks home. Now they got to come over here to the Bay Area at home. 49ers haven't had a home game in a while. So I know Levi Stadium is going to be hyped up, ready to go. We haven't had fans in the seats since November 19th, which is going to be basically almost a month that we haven't been able to go to a 49er game at Levi Stadium. So I know the crowd's going to be ready to go. And it could be a blowout for sure, especially with how the San Francisco 49ers are playing and what they just did to the Eagles and what they've already done to the Seahawks. But Will Ferrell is hilarious. I love it. Because that's kind of what I think the sentiment across the league is right now. If you aren't one of the elite teams and you're facing off against the San Francisco 49ers, you just got to hope and pray that the ball bounces your way. You get some favorable outcomes, the ball just, maybe an interception or a fumble falls into your lap, something like that. Because if the 49ers are executing at this level and they continue to do that, they're going to be extremely difficult to stop. Like that's why they are, after this week, considered hands down the best team in the NFL by everyone. Like it's not even a question. So the Seattle Seahawks definitely have a big task, but we also understand what it is any given Sunday. So we can't look past this team. I know a lot of fans are concerned about a potential letdown with how much emotion and energy went into that Eagles game. And I think a lot of fans have been referencing, the week 5 win over the Cowboys and what it looked like against the Browns the following week and, losing to that team led by PJ Walker and all that different types of stuff. So I think there's a little bit where fans are like, well, kind of been here before. But I've said this multiple times on multiple videos. I really think that situation where the 49ers beat Dallas, had a 3-game losing streak going into the bye, and had a month to just stew on not winning. I think that really, really helped this team in regards to mentality, mindset, the type of energy that they play with, the type of focus that they have. I don't believe that there's going to be a letdown. I believe that 3-game losing stretch, like I've said before, is going to be a huge catalyst in this team moving forward. This team has been battle tested, right? We know they've had some tough losses in the past, whether it's NFC championship games, what have you. And so I think that 3-game losing stretch in the middle of the year was kind of a reminder of like, this is what losing feels like. This is what it feels like to like not be able to get out of your own way. And I think that lesson that was learned from that time period is invaluable. And I really do think that's why this team is not going to let up off the gas. They know better. So they've experienced. They understand what happens when maybe that could occur, and maybe you get a little too ahead of yourself. Like remember in that Browns game, they got into the whole pushing and shoving match against them, right? You know, in the pregame, and there's like that scuffle and all those different types of things. Well, similar situation occurred with Philly. Fred Warner talked about it on his podcast where they they now have rules based on how teams need to warm up and where they need to warm up on the field and not crossing over these boundaries because of the pregame scuffles that happened with the Browns and I believe another team. And the Eagles tried to test them. They crept over. They were warming up on their side of the field. I think they were looking for and trying to antagonize the 49ers to react. And Fred Warner talked about it and they managed it well. They didn't react. They kept their composure. And that's the point, is that that's the perfect example of why I believe this team is in a different spot. Against the Browns, they didn't hold their composure. They reacted and they responded in that particular situation. It occurs again in week 13 and they handle it completely differently. Like we've seen the videos of them running out of the tunnel and having to go by all the Eagles players, and the Eagles players are just kind of standing there and holding their ground, and the 49ers didn't bite. They didn't bite. They just kept it rolling. And that's why I think the 49ers are going to be unstoppable. They learned that lesson early on in the year. I don't think there's going to be a letdown. And I think every single team that is going to face them is going to get the 49ers' best shot. So I agree with Will Ferrell. I agree with Will Ferrell 100% for the reasons that I just explained. What do you think of Will Ferrell's thoughts? What do you think of what I had to say? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.